Okay guys, so in this video I'd like to address the different languages that the biological systems in comparison to man-made machine systems speak, because this fundamental challenge is very important to address, because if we want the biological intelligence speak with the artificial intelligence, we need them to speak the same language. In other words, the way in which they transfer, exchange, or process information at that level needs to be able to speak the same language so that we can have them speak to each other. However, one of the biggest challenges is that in biology and essentially in living organisms, the way in which information is transferred, exchanged, and processed is mainly, for the most part, analog, except for DNA, which we can talk in the future about. Whereas in machines that are man-made systems, more or less, mainly the information is transferred digitally. So in this video, I'd like to address that. And one of you also had some questions about it that you posted in my previous video. I want to address that as well. Before addressing that question, I would also like to address a question that another viewers had last time in terms of where these ideas come from. To the best of my knowledge, these are original ideas that I've developed for the past and worked on for the past 12 years. I also have it in part of the preface that I would like to read for you, and hopefully that'll answer your questions. And here's what I wrote at the end of the preface, is that to the best of my knowledge, this work represents an original and authentic contribution to the intersection of biological intelligence and artificial intelligence. Throughout the research and the writing process, I made a concrete effort to explore uncharted territories where biological biosignals are integrated into digital systems, a concept that is not widely addressed at the moment, at least in the existing literature or AI research. While I'm aware that the remarkable strides being made in related fields, such as brain-computer interfaces or BCIs and computational neuroscience, this book delves into unique ideas and frameworks that have been independently developed. The intention is not to replicate or build upon other works, but rather to present a new perspective that integrates biosignals from biological entities of real-time data as an active input into AI system and so forth. I will now read for you the introduction to chapter 3 of the book, where that is called Analog, Digital, and Hybrid Computing, and hopefully that answers some of your questions, as well as talking about this big challenge we have. In this chapter, we explore the complex and evolving landscape of computation by examining 3 primary paradigms: analog, digital, and hybrid computing systems. Each of these computing types reflect a distinct approach to processing and transmitting information, with potential applications that span across biological systems, machines, and future quantum technologies. We begin in this chapter by delving into analog computing, a form of computation inherently tied to continuous data processing. Analog computing is not just a concept for machines. It is deeply embedded in our biological systems. The human body, for instance, operates largely through analog signals. Protonic and photonic computing models, inspired by biological processes, leverage the continuous nature of analog information to simulate how neurons and cells process vast amount of real-world data. These systems represent nature's methods of computation, relying on electrical, chemical, and bioelectrical signals to make sense of environmental stimuli. By harnessing principle of analog computing, we can uncover new ways to interface with and understand the natural world. Next, in this chapter, we transition to digital computing, the backbone of modern-day machines. Digital systems process discrete data through binary operations, delivering high-speed, precise calculations that form the basis of computers, artificial intelligence, and robotic systems. While digital computing excels at efficiency and scalability, it lacks the fluidity and nuance that characterize analog systems, especially in biological context. However, digital computing remains unparalleled for its precision, making it indispensable in many applications across industries. Finally, in this chapter, we introduce hybrid computing, an emerging frontier that blends the strength of both analog and digital paradigms. Hybrid systems aim to leverage the continuous nature of analog information with the precision of digital systems to create computing architecture capable of solving more complex and nuanced problems. Central to this discussion is quantum computing, a revolutionary hybrid model that operates at the intersection of physics and information theory. Quantum computing harnesses the principle of quantum mechanics to process data in a fundamentally different way, providing exponential increases in computing power for certain types of problems, exploring the integration of quantum systems into both biological and machine-based architectures. We begin to envision a new era of hybrid computation capable of modeling biological complexity and enhancing artificial intelligence. While venturing into the discussion of analog and digital computing, we need to understand why these two forms of computation are foundational to the integration of biological signals into machines. Analog systems inherent to nature and biology process continuous data, the kind we find in, for example, neural oscillation, which are the waves, the brain waves, heart rate, or heart rate variability. These are all wave-like type of information transfer within the biological systems, or bioelectrical or even chemical signals. In contrast, digital computing, a hallmark of modern machines and systems, operate through discrete or binary systems, offering precisions and efficiency by lacking the fluidity of the natural processes, and digital systems are essentially zeros and ones. If we were to create a true symbiosis between humans and machines, where artificial systems not only read biological data but interpret it in real time, these two discrete languages must find a common ground. By investigating how analog and digital systems can be integrated or hybridized, we pave the way for machines to more intuitively understand, process, and respond to the complexity of human biological signals. This convergence of computation is critical to advancing human-machine integration and making machines extensions of the humans and human biology. Lastly, I'd like to address another question that one of you had in regards to the digital type of information transfer, and what if we went really deep down at the pixels and atomic level, etc., what then isn't that still analog? Yes, it is, but with one big caveat that is inherently different when we have digital information transfer in machines. And I'm going to read a part of the book that addresses that particular question. If we look at man-made machines, the information processing and exchange at the core level is designed to be digital, using bits, zeros, and ones. Even when dealing with incredibly small units like pixels or transistors at the nanoscale, the system still interprets this digital system, these states as discrete digital values, zeros and ones. However, when we zoom in to the physical and quantum level, we start dealing with the analog world, because physical properties like electrical currents, voltages, and the actual position or momentum of electrons are continuous by nature. The key is that digital systems sample and quantify these analog properties at the quantum level. At the deepest level, which is the quantum level, is built on analog signals, but the digital system purposefully process and interpret these analog information transfer as digital for computational purposes. That means that while the underlying physical reality might still be analog, what we call digital is a conceptual framework that abstracts the analog nature into binary values. So man-made machines are still operating in a digitally abstract way, even if the underlying physics is analog. So I hope that answered your questions, and I hope that this clarified those challenges that essentially this book is also trying to answer in terms of biological intelligence speaking in language of analog versus artificial intelligence that they speak in digital language.